Good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. Welcome back down to my library. And this is not going to be a book haul because I did not buy any books at all this month. So instead, these are going to be all the books that I want to try and read for March. And I think I'm going to go insane here. So I have 4 books from each media that I read from: physical, Audible, and Kindle. So, yeah. Most of these are horror, and 2 are Western, and 1 is a memoir. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, because I got a lot to cover. So I'm going to start off with my physical reads. And my main read for March is going to be Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. And this is a brand new release that just came out in January. So it actually gives me an opportunity to read a new release. So I'm going to read what this is about. Well, I'm going to probably paraphrase things, but here I go. Noah Fairchild has been losing his formerly polite Southern parents to far-right cable news for years. So when his mother leaves him a voicemail warning him that the Great Reawakening is here, he assumes it's related to one of the many conspiracy theories she believes in. But when his own phone calls goes unanswered, Noah makes the long drive from his home in Brooklyn to Richmond, Virginia. There he discovers his childhood home in shambles, a fridge full of spoiled food, and his parents locked in a terrifying trance-like state in front of the TV. Panicked, Noah attempts to snap them out of it and get medical help. Then Noah's mother brutally attacks him. But Noah isn't the only person to be attacked by a loved one. Families across the country are tearing each other apart, literally, as people succumb to a form of possession that gets worse the more time they spend glued to the cable news or falling down internet rabbit holes. In Noah's Richmond-based family, only he and his young nephew Marcus are unaffected. Together they must race back to the safe haven of Brooklyn, but can they make it before they fall prey to the violent hordes? This ambitious, searing novel from one of horror's modern masters holds a mirror to our divided nation and will shake readers to the core. So basically, think The Exorcist meets Poltergeist meets The Ring, I guess. So, I was very interested in this novel, and I definitely want to check it out, finally. But I also heard that this could be reminiscent of The Purge. So that'll be my main read for March. Wake Up and Open Your Eyes. And I don't know what I'm doing to myself, but I picked more of these songs out. Let's go ahead and pull them up. The next one I want to get to is Maggie's Grave by David Sodergren. Wanted to read this month, but I just did not have time for it. But I'm finally going to finish the horror tonight. And automatically, I want to read more from David Sodergren. So, I'm going to read the back of this. The small Scottish town of Auchinmolan is dead, and has been for years. It sits in the shadow of a mountain forgotten and atrophying in the perpetual gloom. 47 residents are all that remain. There's nothing to do there, nothing to see, except for a solitary grave near the top of the mountain. Maggie Wall buried here as a witch, reads the faded inscription. But sometimes the dead don't stay buried, especially when they have unfinished business. So, a slasher featuring an undead witch. How awesome does that sound? Well, I'm going to find out. Maggie's Grave by David Sodergren. And I decided to put that in my 25 and 25 challenge as well. But this next one was actually part of my challenge already. So I wanted to pick one. And I picked Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. And this is basically about a newlywed couple who recently just had a baby, and it caused the mother to become paralyzed. So they win the lottery and they become residents of a new apartment building. But when they notice bites on their newborn baby's neck, they suspect something is very wrong with this place. Salem's Lot meets Rosemary's Baby. I've been wanting to read this for quite some time, and I definitely want to see how good this is, because I heard that this is supposed to be very, very well done. But that is Nestlings by Nat Cassidy. Sorry about that glare. And if I conquer all three of those, I decided to add They Built a Gallows for You and Me by Cody Higgins. And I had this in my reading plans this month, but I just did not get to it. It should be the easiest one to read because it's only like 90 pages. But I'm going to read the back again. Was the threat of death all we needed to die? When smiles act like monsters in the dark who are pretending to be friendly, it's hard to know where to put our trust. As a mysterious sickness starts killing the children in the town of Salina, the townsfolk find themselves distraught and searching for answers. A new family in town seemed to bring forth the illness. Did they bring it with them? Are they causing it to happen? Or did the family stumble into something dark and sinister? Something with witchcraft on its lips. So, splatter western, I don't know what to expect, but it should be a relatively easy read. But I'm only reading it if I complete all three of these, which already, holy hell. So those are my physical reads for March, hopefully. Let's get into like the easier stuff, I guess. So this is the Audible section. And the first book I want to read for March on Audible is one called The Horse by Willie Vlautin, however you say that name. But this is a literary fiction novel that is about a musician that's dealing with addiction. So it's supposed to be very hard-hitting, and it's kind of like a Western in a way. So that's up next. And now for the wild card. Over the Influence by Joanna Jojo Levesque. Leave me alone. This is the memoir about JoJo, which she is a pop star from like the 2000s. And this is all about her. I guess I'll see how that is. Followed by Dear Laura by Gemma Amore. And I've heard very mixed feelings on this one. This is considered an extreme horror novella, but I've heard it's hardly extreme because this is about a woman who befriends a mysterious pen pal, and every time they communicate, she has to do something that gets messier and messier to get closer to the pen pal. That's all I know. The next one is The Scarecrow, a gruesome horror slasher by Samuel Small. Very self-explanatory. A scarecrow is on the loose hunting down teenagers. My kind of story. Those are all the books I want to read on Audible. Let's move on to Kindle. And the first Kindle book I want to read for March is going to be Grandfather's House by John Athen. I've been on a John Athen binge lately. This will be my third book in 3 months already. So, this is about a teenager who gets sent away to his grandparents' house, and it turns out the grandfather is very sadistic. So I know what I'm expecting here, some pretty gnarly stuff. We'll see what happens there. Next, sounds like a very fun one. Cuddle Buddies by Harrison Phillips. And this will be the third book that I've read from him. And this is basically about sentient children's characters coming to life and just wreaking chaos on people. So it's kind of like a slasher. This one just sounds very fun. And of course, very gory. And finally, to wrap up this video, I decided to check out Rabid Madness and Rabid Madness 2 Rampage by Brian G. Barry. And from what I read from the synopses, the first one is about a house that hides a mysterious lab that turns people into zombie-like creatures. And they just go on a rampage. The second one, pretty much the exact same thing. And I also like these covers as well. They definitely bring you back to like that Night of the Living Dead vibe. So, these are all the books that I want to read for March. And I'm already going to be busy. So, we'll see what happens. So, if you like this content, I strongly urge you to like, comment, and subscribe. And my next video is going to be my Last Breath review. I'm going to go see that Friday, and then after that, I'll give you guys my wrap-ups. And then after that, I'll just have to see what's coming out in March. But there's a few movies that I'd like to see coming out in March that I'll definitely have reviews on, like Mickey 17 is one. I'll definitely check that one out. And just stay tuned for more videos. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios. Peace.